Hi there. My name is Jennifer Dixon with Thrive Yoga and Wellness, and today we are going to talk about half moon pose. So, Ardha Chandrasana in Sanskrit. This is a challenging pose because it is a balancing pose, and a lot of folks really struggle with balance. And so, I'm going to give you some tips and things that I've used over the years to help me get to the point where I can comfortably perform half moon pose in the middle of the room and not need to use my hand. Here's something to keep in mind. That takes a lot of time and a lot of practice, a lot of abdominal strength and glute strength, believe it or not. Glutes and abdominals are super key players to helping to improve your balance overall. So, my suggestion is if you are really working to improve your balance, or if you're a yoga teacher wanting to throw in more balance postures into your sequencing, make sure your clients have their core. Make sure you and your clients have your core nice and warmed up. So maybe doing some boats or canoes, things of that nature. And then make sure you've warmed up inside the glute. It's actually the glute median that you'll probably feel the meatiest one that you'll probably feel the most in this balance posture. So if you have a yoga block, awesome, grab it. If not, totally okay. You might mean you have to reach for the ground a little bit more. And I always suggest starting out closer to the wall. That way, if something goes then you have the wall to catch you, right? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Place that block. I'm going to do it for this sake on my left-hand side. To place the block on the tall part first so that you don't have to reach forward quite as much. Now, half moon pose is performed with the balancing foot at like a warrior two position, meaning that back foot's kind of parallel to the back of the mat. Now, this front foot is actually straight, but what a lot of people do is they lock out the knee. And when you lock out your knee, it kind of robs your muscles of the ability to help you balance. So, especially if you tend to lock your knees, soften your knees. Now, another clue, when you're first starting out, your front leg is going to want to pigeon toe or bow out, kind of depending on your anatomy. So, since we're here in yoga and this is a yoga tutorial, I suggest really focusing on training the muscles in the right way and getting your feet straight forward. Don't let them pigeon toe. Don't let them go out to the side. Trust me on this because I practiced with it kind of pigeon toed for years and years, and then learning to straighten it out was like relearning the posture. So if you're brand new to balance, I say go ahead and get your front leg straight. Now, if you notice, my block is just in front of and outside of the left foot. That's because when we kick off, that's the perfect place for my hand to grab the block. Now, to enter into your half moon, you can soften that left knee ever so slightly and go ahead and ground that left hand onto the block. This way you kind of have something to steady you. Reach your right hand up really, really, really high and pretend you're grabbing on a rope overhead. That activation, that mental imagery of grabbing a rope is going to help you to get everything tight enough for you to hold that right leg up. So look down at the block, suck your belly in, because remember, balance comes from a really strong core. Think about that right glute really contracting. Push off the left foot and then bring that right foot up into the air. Now, this right foot is not just dangling around. It is strong and firm. You can go ahead and poke your butt cheeks, poke your legs. It is working hard. It is pretending to push into the wall behind you. The more active this leg is, the easier it'll be for you to lift that left hand up off of the block. Now, if you've just got your right leg rather dangling into space, it's going to be a lot harder to keep your balance. Looking down is a lot easier for balance too. And likewise, when you look around, that can make you wobbly. I don't know if you saw that. I did that. So let me demonstrate this again on the right-hand side. Going to go ahead and get set up. Left foot is like warrior two, parallel to the back of the mat. That right leg is bent ever so slightly. I'm going to bend it a little bit more so I can grab hold of that block in the right hand. Now you're going to notice I'm going to shift this right hand forward a little bit, holding onto the block because my weight is going to come forward, right? So just take the block with you in this case. Reach the left hand up really strong. Bring all of your weight into that right foot. Press into that imaginary wall behind you with your left foot and check it out. Here we are in half moon. That left foot's really strong, left glutes working really, really, really hard, and that left hand's very active. Now, once you get more comfortable with that, you can play with bringing your block a little bit lower, maybe to the medium side, maybe to the low side. And you can also work with kicking off or almost pushing off to get into the balance posture. Now remember, as you use momentum to push off, you've got to use equal amount of energy to stop you, because if you just push off, you're going to be like flying like Superman, right? So if you're pushing off, remember to keep the abdominal muscles nice and strong, the glute muscles ready and firing, so that as you push off to reach for your block, you're going to do it with a slow and controlled movement. It's not just whoosh, because that's much harder to stop with. So let's practice that again. Here we are perhaps in a warrior two. So your left knee is already bent. Your arms are active, pushing the walls away from you in each direction. Your teacher or you cue half moon pose. Suck the belly up. Practice your Kegel muscles. That's your Mula Bandha. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Tailbone lengthens down, hands reach in opposite directions. Go ahead and gaze down and a little bit outside of that left foot. Kick off, and then maybe you touch that block in front of you. Good job. Let's do that on the other side. Now I'll demonstrate it. Watch me without a block. So here we are in our warrior two pose. And remember, play with how high you need the block. If you've got really long arms, you might not ever need to be on the very, very tall side. I have kind of like a longer torso and short legs, so having it up really high is like kind of sort of a little bit cheating, but then it also kind of gets in the way too. It's pushing me up. So warrior two, really active. Play with how high you need the block, or maybe you play with no block at all. Looking forward, shift your weight forward slowly with control, and then bring the right hand down as you bring the left hand up. Left foot's really, really strong. Eventually, your body is going to be parallel to the ground with your right hand and left arm reaching in opposite directions. You're like making a big solid piece of wood, a stick, a plank, if you will, that's balanced on your one leg. That stability is coming from your core and your glutes. Thanks again for watching. My name is Jennifer Dixon with Thrive Yoga and Wellness and Thrive Online. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial on half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana, and I would love to get your feedback. Did any of those cues really kind of pop out at you? What is it that you like to think about when you are practicing this pose? And even better, what are some of the best ways that you love to get into and get out of half moon? I've been playing a lot with balance and trying to balance while I bring my feet forward or backwards into and out of this pose, and it's super challenging. It's awesome for body awareness, core and glute work, and improving balance overall. So I'm curious just to hear what it is that you like to do, and if any of these cues helped with your Ardha Chandrasana. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget that you can like and subscribe to this channel. I hope to see you again soon, and until then, go in peace. Namaste.